What's up, everyone? It's Turner Fan 77, and tonight we are doing Comic Talk issue 12. It's been a while since we did this, and I'm glad to be back with our special guest, Popculture33, aka Evan, one of the best dudes on Instagram, YouTube, and in life general. Such a great guy. So we're here. We're going to talk some comic books. I'm going to interview him, pick his brain about it. So I'm going to bring him on in. There we go. What's up?
Can you hear
How
me?
you doing? Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Thank you for having me on. I'm excited.
Dude, I'm glad you're here. You bust my balls a lot. It's funny and it's fun, and I can't wait to pick your brain.
I'm excited, and I'm in my finally got my streaming stuff up in my media room, so I now
That's
have
awesome.
a background that's not just plain and boring.
I like it, man. You got a nice stuff back there. How was your day? Did you have a good day?
It was a long day. I worked from 7 to 5:30.
Oof.
So,
Yeah.
but I loved it. It was I got to op a show with some of the brightest people in the world, and I got paid to listen to them talk. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. Couldn't complain about it. So,
yeah, and you seem in a great mood, and that's awesome. David, aka the 4K Lowdown, might join us. We're not 100% sure, and he has a lot going on today, so hopefully he'll pop in. And we already had somebody in the chat, and we already know who this good guy is, and that's Evan or Harrison.
Whoa!
Well,
You merged us.
I did. Well, you guys are kind of connected, so
yeah. Well, we're trying to start a thing. We got inspired by you and seeing what you and David did, and I like talking to Harrison, so why don't I do it more often?
Oh, Harrison's awesome. He just like you, Harrison. You guys seem like just like kind, gentle people. You know what I mean? It's just I dig talking to you guys.
I'm glad you think I'm nice. Evanson.
So, man, we're just gonna jump right into this. These streams usually don't last very long, so we're just gonna jump right in. Let's question, go. Evan. I don't know if I can get it up here. What was your first comic book you remember reading?
Well, reading is a tough one because I often didn't actually read the comics. I'm dyslexic, didn't learn how to read till I was 18. So comics, I just looked at the pictures. I don't remember my first. I could tell you like the first one I kind of remember getting thinking it was special. It was Superman's death. My dad bought it in the silver thing, brought it home,
Superman
and then of course, yeah, sure, if that's the number.
Mm-hmm.
I ripped open it and just looked at the pictures and talked about, so that's the one I remember the most. But most of the comics I remember were just around the house or whatever I bought in the store. I was never a big collector in the sense of I didn't buy all the Superman or stuff like that, all the Batman. It just, whatever I saw, I picked up, I looked at. But so wasn't like a big avid reader of comics, but I did enjoy them when I got them.
That's awesome. No, okay, you're younger than me, but not young. Okay, that sounded bad when I said it. Okay.
Wait, I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
I'm 46.
Oh, freaking A. Yeah, I'm younger than you.
Yeah.
I'm 40. You're still only 6 years older.
Yeah, I just turned 46 too. Yeah. But I'll tell everybody I'm 35. But that doesn't fly. But anyway, where did you buy your comics? Or did you go to a comic shop? Did you go to like a grocery store? Grocery store?
Yeah. There was a grocery store that always had the ones. And I bought mostly, do you remember the Disney like TV Guide kind of magazines? They were like small, perky TV Guide. And they had a whole bunch of those were the ones I bought the most. And they always had like comic, sections that always had those whatever DuckTales or Tailspin, whatever those Saturday afternoon cartoons, that Gummy Bears sometimes and stuff like that. Yeah. So I always on the thing, or you go into the store that always had like the toy guns and the magazines, and they always had a small little book section and comics right there that you just kind of just bought. But I never gone, like the comic book stores were tough because my parents didn't always like being in there because they always had like the demon stuff,
Right. Yeah,
so Yeah, so we didn't often go in there. When I got older, I would go like at the mall and stuff, but and look at stuff. But I was never, but like I said, I was never a big enough collector to make that a sole purpose. Movies have always been my thing. I've been
Yeah.
I've been collecting movies since I was like 5. So yeah, my dad never understood that part because he would have to go buy 2 movies. So like when Jurassic Park came out, it would be
Whoa.
balloon. What the heck?
What was
Did
that?
you see that?
I did see that. That was weird.
Is it because I said birthday?
It might have been.
I don't know what that
That was
was.
weird.
Um, but so like I remember when Jurassic Park came out, and we told my dad stop by and pick it up, and my mom on the phone, said don't forget to buy 2, and you could hear my dad just on the other side going, "Why do I need to buy 2? I don't get to go, one for the family, one for Evan. That's the rule."
But that's awesome that they supported you to do that.
Oh yeah, my mom's a collector too. So I think my mom might have a bigger movie collection than I do.
Oh wow.
Oh, she definitely has more criterions than I do. Like half my criterions right now are from my mom's collection. So
Really?
yeah, she's a
Oh,
she's a
dude.
collector. Yeah.
You need to sit down and have an interview with your mom.
Yeah.
Talking into a generation there.
Yeah.
And we got a couple comments. Hey guys, sorry, can't be there. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I got jumped ahead. My dad got in trouble on his mission in Argentina because my grandma sent him 5 issues of Death of Superman to hand out to his
His
friends.
friends. Oh no. That's not a mission trip kind of magazine comic book you send. You send the church.
Yeah, the church approved.
Yeah.
David says, "Hey guys, sorry I can't be there. I'm feeling crappy tonight. Just wanted to show my love and have a great show." Well, David, I hope you feel good and get some rest, man, because you got
Yeah.
some
Feel
streams coming.
better. No, he's
Wow,
famous.
balloons, right?
We don't know
Wow,
how
wow.
that happened. That just happened on its own. I
I think
truly
maybe
don't
it's
know.
because I said you said birthday or I said birthday.
Happy birthday. Let's see if it
Yeah,
does it again. Oh
I
no,
think
I don't know.
I don't know. That was weird. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I'm jumping around. Okay, question number 2. What is your favorite character and why?
Okay, so here's the hard one. Okay, so my favorite comic book character is Batman. Um, Only reason is because I can be Batman. Like, let's just be honest. If I had the money and I had the discipline and I wasn't a lazy bum, I could be Batman. And I and so I always enjoyed the Batman, but he's been more of the person I watched in the movies. I grew up watching him TV side and then started to read his comics later, more than as a kid. So I had to go back. If I had to pick what I read as a kid, it's going to be in the uh, what was it? It would be like the Disney Digest. It's Donald Duck. It's all those that I read, and then but so I had to go that and Superman. So those were that. DC was my thing.
Yeah.
Um, Marvel didn't get to read a lot. The character I always wanted to read, and my dad's gonna hate it. I was Daredevil, but because it had the name Devil in it, I just remember I couldn't ever get it. But what's funny is if you read Daredevil, he's very Catholic and
Mhm.
holy, and so
Yeah.
all this stuff, and so he's one of those characters I wish I discovered younger because I always thought he looked cool on the covers. I mean, he just looked iconic with the red eyes and everything, and the yellows and the black one back in the day. So
Yeah. I like Daredevil because we're gonna talk Daredevil in a little bit. Um, yeah, I like your choices. Batman, you can't go wrong with Batman, Superman, and Daredevil.
yeah, I always liked the older Batman. So when Batman becomes really dark with what's his name, Year One, and stuff, I love those stories, but I love the campiness of Batman too. So and I always liked the Shadow, Dick Tracy. Like if you read those comic strips that
Hmm.
were also then. So I used to get those as a book. I used to get the audio tapes of the Shadow Show. I was an old soul growing up. I liked all the
That's
old
awesome.
stuff. And yeah, growing up, my favorite actor was Elvis, and my favorite cowboy was Roy Rogers. So
Oh yeah.
Zorro, all that stuff. I did not fit in often with my friends.
That's what you don't need
Um,
to fit in. You don't want to be like everybody else.
so,
You want to be
but
different.
yeah, yeah, I think, yeah. So Batman has, outside of like the Disney stuff, Batman would probably be the most I have in red.
Oh, well, see, you said you like the campiness of that. See, I don't like the campy Batman. I
Oh, do
can't do
you?
it. I can't. I can't do it.
The
I
Joker's so
like the
much
dark,
funnier.
serious.
Yeah, I like the Joker being just stupid and silly.
What's up, Jerry? Thank you
How's it
for
going, Jerry?
popping in. Hope you're doing good. And again, thank you, man. Thank everybody for popping in today. Um,
We don't have to thank Harrison if he's still watching.
we have to thank Harrison's awesome. I love it. Okay, so I know you said you weren't like a collector where you bought all the single issues, everything. You just
Right.
read what was in front of you. But with that said, do you remember what your favorite storyline is?
I'm reading it now. I just discovered it. Did so I moved, and in part of my move, I decided that my collection habits needed to change. So what I did was I said I'm going to focus on Disney. My movies, I'll collect movies across the board. Doesn't have to just be Disney, but my like collection outside of movies is going to focus like 100% on Disney. So I got rid of a lot of my Batman stuff, my San Jose Shark stuff, packed a lot, but in a sense of I'm not displaying that. And then my second one is history books. So, and a comic book store just opened in where I live, and we haven't had one in years, like since I was in high school. And this new one opened up, and I hated buying comics online, and I don't do them digitally. I think that's going to be question. So, but I went, and they have the Disney villains, and so, and all Disney's been coming out with Darkwing Duck and stuff, and I've been reading Maleficent. Has been my favorite so far of these villains, and I don't like Maleficent. I bought it because my son does, and I decided I'll check it out, and I've been really enjoying that. And the Gargoyles um, comic book line, I've been really enjoying that.
Are you?
And what? Sorry,
No, go ahead. Continue.
I was saying, and I also do enjoy the Batman Halloween comic.
Which one?
Halloween, wasn't it called Halloween? What is that one called?
The Long Halloween?
Long Halloween, is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's from maybe about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's by Jeff Loeb and the late Tim Sale. That's really good. I knew I said I was going to try to read Maleficent. I never got to it. It is in my list. I have it in my queue to read. But yeah, I have never been a fan of licensed property comics. It's hard for me to dive into that stuff because I don't. I like to keep that stuff separated. You know, I don't want to read about Ninja Turtles when I had a great movie. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Turtles came first, right?
Yeah, Turtles came first. Yeah, the Turtles.
Do you read Batman?
What?
Do you read Batman?
Yeah, I do.
But you have Batman movies.
Well,
sorry, I'm challenging you. Sorry.
You always challenge me, man. This is why I love you, Evan. And Michael, thank you for joining us. Yes, you do. LOL from Harrison.
I think he's meaning we have to thank you him.
Yeah. Just finished up a Twitch stream, and now I'm here to hang with you. Thank you for joining us, Michael. I hope you're doing good, and congratulations on your weight loss journey. Keep kicking ass.
Go for it, my friend.
Yeah, you're doing it for me. Okay.
He was so fun to watch with your show with David. That was a blast.
That's the one I got sick on. That was
yeah. That was the best part.
Smart ass. Okay. Now you kind of answered this already, but I was going to say it anyway. If you had to pick one comic publisher to read, what would it be?
Well, it's going to be right now, well, because it's, what is it, Dynamite right
Mm-hmm.
now? So they do the Disney.
Hold that
They're
up there.
partnered
I
with.
want to see that. That's kind of a cool cover. I like that.
I'm trying to get the glare out. There you go.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it looks. I like that cover.
And what I like about these, like this and the Gargoyles, like we don't get the show anymore, but they're going to
Right.
continue the story. It's kind of like when Buffy did that too. I got the Buffy comic book when they're like season. They called it the, I forget what season it was,
Yeah. I think it was
and
season
they
8.
just, yeah, they just continued the story, and I like that. It's like going,
I did
if
too.
we
I
can't
did
make
read that. I ain't gonna lie. Did you
any,
read? Did you read the reboot that they did in comic form?
no.
Oh, I dug the first maybe handful of issues. Then it got kind of wonky.
I do also. I started to. I haven't stayed up. I have the first 5 of the Star Wars Galaxy Edge series.
Let me see. Hold that up. Look, this is a glare.
Let's see if I can get it out.
No, I haven't read those ones.
There you go. That's a good spot.
Yeah, I haven't read
So,
those.
well, these are, to my knowledge, I don't know if they're digital or not, but they were like said at the time they were only going to be sold at a Disney park.
Oh, okay.
Because it's based off of the Galaxy Edge park.
Oh,
So
see, I didn't know that.
it lives in that universe kind of place. So
That's cool. There's some collector's items there.
yeah, and I'm a Disney guy, Disneyland.
Yeah.
So
You know, if you like Star Wars, I suggest checking out the Darth Vader, Marvel's Darth Vader. He's had 2 series now, and
yeah, I've seen those.
I really liked the Darth Vader run. The regular Star Wars books, they started off really good, and then maybe 10 issues in, and it kind of fell off.
You're just like, but you already have good movies of Darth Vader, and you're now reading his book. You can't make up your mind what you
No, right?
want.
Right. I know.
No, I'm really liking these, and I love the covers. It's the animation of the show. Like gargoyles look like they belong in the show. Oh, the Rocketeer. I also enjoy the
Remember you
Rocketeer,
talking about.
which is not a Disney book. So Rocketeer was a comic book first, and they brought it back in comic. They brought the comic back, and they're reintroducing the Rocketeer, which is not associated with Disney. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
I think you educated me on that before. I think you did.
Well, I'll do it again. Okay.
Hope that gets a 4K treatment. I would like the Rocketeer.
Oh yeah, the Shadow, the Rocketeer, the Phantom, Dick Tracy, like all those movies should do that, right? I like those.
Me
So
too. Couple comments. Thanks for the kind words. That's true though, man. You're awesome. The Star Wars movie adaptations are great from back in the 80s. You know, I've never read those, to be honest with you.
dude, you're old enough though.
A smart ass.
You were born in the 70s.
I was. You know, I didn't start reading. I remember my mom's boyfriend buying me comics when I was a kid, but I think I got bit by the bug in the 90s. I think I was in junior high. Maybe not even junior high yet. And I remember going to a comic shop. No, I wasn't at a comic. It was a grocery store that you had a spinner rack. And I remember I forget what number it was, Amazing Spider-Man, the part 1 of Round Robin. Story had a white cover. It was pretty cool. That sticks out for me. Okay. Question number 5. Now, this is going to lead into something. Kind of hit on it. What's more important to you, art or story?
Growing up, it's going to be the art because I couldn't read, so I made up my own story. But for comics, it's if you do not have art, why am I looking at you? I don't like, even if you have an amazing story, I don't care. I'm reading a comic. At that point, put it in a novel, and then I'll read it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I do.
so the art has to be number one. If it's not there, then I'm not going to read you. Because if you don't look cool,
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned you have dyslexia.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic. Yeah,
I said that right?
yeah, dyslexic.
Okay.
Or if you were going to say if I have dyslexia, I
Yeah.
am dyslexic.
Okay. There we go. So how did that work for you? I mean, did you get frustrated trying to read the comics? Because I want you to educate me on your journey from having being dyslexic to opening your first comic book.
I was a frustrated child. I was very violent as a kid. Got kicked out of school and stuff like that. But I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I was blessed to know that I had a learning disability at a young age. I went to a special preschool, but as you move up, the services that are now given to people is extremely blessed. I didn't have those. And technology, like right now, like with my iPad, my phone, with text to speech, when I was in high school, I either had to pay it or go through a program that would pay it. But that used to cost like $300 a year to have those services, and they're just now built into your phone. Um, Digital Kindles, books, going like that. If I wanted to read, like Lord of the Rings, I could never have read even when I learned how to read, but because the large print books were about 150 a volume, where you guys could buy a paperback for $6.99. So, but dyslexia affects more than just how you read. It affects how you talk, how you process things. And the problem is, most people with dyslexia are actually technically geniuses, but the disability holds them back in certain areas. But they usually test off the chart in other areas, and so they're very, very smart, and could like comprehension, getting stuff, seeing stuff, and stories and stuff. That's why like movies were very part. I understood movies more and faster than most other people. Like I would notice things and do different things because of my dyslexia. So, but it was frustrating. It didn't affect me on the comics because they're a great equalizer. I could figure out who Superman is. I could figure out who the bad guy is and who he's fighting, and he wins. So when I go talk to my friends, yeah, Superman beat up, this bad guy. Well, simple as that. No one's talking about, did you hear what he said on page 12? So as a kid, you're not talking about that. So it was an equalizer for me. So I was never frustrated in that regards. Now, when you're talking in class and reading books, half the time I just look at a page, count to 12 to 15, because I used to count my friends and see how often they would turn their page. I would count how many seconds that would be, and so then I would just count those seconds and then turn the page. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
I don't read. So my very first book I ever read was Harry Potter when I was 18. So
So you said that's when you learned to read. Okay, now this is not comic related. I'm fascinated by this. I want to know your journey. How did you learn to read?
well, just over the years. So I was always in resources, and I was in special ed for a while and all those classes. And then, but your teacher reads to you, you read, and it just starts to click. You read, like I would read in class, but it would be struggling. It would be, but I could never go home and like read on my own often, or I could read a couple pages and be done. And then when I turned 18, I said I was going to read a book, and I picked Harry Potter, and that's when I decided. That's when I said That's when I learned to read, because at that point I finished the whole book on my own. Didn't use an audio book. Didn't use any kind of outside support for that. So that's why I just call it that way. So I could read like certain things and I could spell, but like my spelling is not based off of sounds. It's based off of memorizing every single word I spell. So like I said, when I go to spell beautiful, I don't sound out the word beautiful. I don't know what letters go to where. I just remember all the letters go in what order for beautiful.
Oh
And
wow.
so like when I talk to people now and they hear what I do, so you literally, your whole entire vocabulary is based off of memorization. And go, yes, I'm blessed with a good memory. It sucks for everyone else because I can remember, like I can remember everything that you could say like a year ago. and stuff like that. I have what you call, I have a photographic memory, not an eidetic memory. It means I can't remember everything that I ever heard, but I could remember a lot of stuff. If it's important to me, it goes in there. But if it's not important to me, I'm not holding on to it.
That's awesome. Now,
So
I got one more question, but I think I kind of know the answer. I mean, thank you for going into that. I know we always talk movies and stuff, but I like your story.
And by the way, I got my master's now in American history, and I became a middle school teacher for about 20 years. So
Oh,
I, yeah, most people, like when I started to date my wife, like at the beginning, she didn't believe me until she started to proofread my papers, and she goes, "Ah, there it is." And then
that's funny.
when text became a thing, like texting,
Hmm.
that's how you'll just see words left out. You'll see things not just ignore them. Dave probably seen it when I type up on the thing. I just have a heart. There's because I don't always know. Like I could visually like. There's times like if I need like time. So if I type a text to you, and you ask me to read it right back to you in that like first 5 minutes, I will read what I meant to write. I will not read what I wrote. Now, and if I wait like an hour, I could go back and go, crap, I left out a lot of words, and then notice that. So there's been times where can you read this to me? And I read it to her, and she goes, that's not at all what that says. So
She's understanding and caring, you know.
when you're
Do
good,
you,
when
do
you're
you,
good, I'm good looking. I mean,
that is
this is
true,
your
man. You're a
prize.
handsome gentleman. But do you think Natalie Portman would be as supporting to you as your wife is?
You're just trying to get me in trouble if she's watching this, aren't you?
Yeah, I
Of
am.
course
I
not. My
am.
wife is amazing.
There you go.
There you go.
We
I don't
got,
think I don't think we didn't. Oh,
dude, I have a vision disability, and large print books are so expensive. The library never had the ones I wanted to read, and didn't even have large print editions till I was almost in high school.
yeah. Get that Kindle. I don't know if you do digital. I don't. I like to read physical books, but I also do Kindle books because I could change that font size. And so what happens is so if you look at what I do, I start at like a size 14 font, and if I so and then I get about a good 15 minutes of reading at size 14. And then my dyslexia and I start to get tired, then I have to, if I up the font to like a 24, 25, I could get another 20, 15 minutes to 20 minutes out of reading.
Okay, now don't laugh at me.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand what the large font thing is. I thought dyslexic was just you were seeing things backwards.
No, well, dyslexia, you can see things backwards. That usually goes with numbers more than letters, but it goes with a lot. It depends on your thing. So my things is if you get them too, if you have the spaces too close, I can't see spaces between the letters. So it will just become a ball. It will just shrink down and become a
Oh,
ball. And then if I get tired, what happens is then the letters start to move, and it'll start like moving in a circle because the ball starts to rotate.
oh, see, I didn't see that. I was just it was a stereotype.
It's a
That
stereotype of why did the dyslexic go to the dog to the pound to on Sunday to
oh,
worship dog?
oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
God, it's a typical thing, but like how I see it, and then how someone else might see it is different. And just to let you know, dyslexia is actually most states are trying to get rid of the term dyslexia, and what they're trying to do is they try to separate the different parts of dyslexia, dysgraphia, vision, and do that different thing because what they do is that at that point, if they could separate it, they could sometimes not have to support all the services because like as a dyslexic I get tons of services because it encompasses a lot of different areas. Like I probably have ADHD too, but I was never diagnosed with that because that's actually a lower diagnosis than what I have now. Like ADHD has less services than what I now, so I didn't need that diagnosis because
Right.
everything that would help me would be on inside the dyslexia diagnosis. And then it's changed over the years of how it counts. So on average, what you call is like I was taught on a scale. So a one and a two, when people say I'm dyslexic too, usually are a one and a two. They sometimes mess up their numbers. They must have, that's a normal thing to do. You're a one or a two. When you start to have it bad is like six between a seven is when you might need some support. 8 or 9 was like you need a lot of support. Scale goes up to 15. I was about a 12 and a 13. So I was pretty far over. So
Thank you for going into that, because I don't understand. I didn't understand that, and
yeah.
and
So how I experience it might be different than how someone else experiences it.
yeah.
So
I have a Kindle Fire. Got one the day it came out, and I never and had over 200 books on it now.
see, there you go.
Technology really saved me. I love to read, and it was always such a, I bet, man. I can't imagine. I've never been a big book reader, but I love comic books. I read so many comic books. I can't imagine having that struggle of wanting to read, but it's a difficult thing. I can't imagine.
Yeah. I have good days, I have bad days, and it stinks. My favorite story about it though is I was going to see a movie, and my youth pastor knew I was having a bad day, and he took me to go see a movie. And this was back in a day where you didn't see every preview, right? You just show up and go, that sounds good, that's playing. But he goes, here, there's this new movie, it's a kung fu movie, let's go see it. It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And I'm sitting there in the theater. We're sitting there, and the first one, it's all subtitles. And I don't know if it's like Hunt for the October, it's subtitles for the first 10 minutes, and then it goes into English. And I lean over to him and I go, is this whole movie in subtitles? He goes, yeah. He doesn't think. And about another 15 minutes go by. He just looks at me as crowded theater, looks at me, oh, crap, you're dyslexic. I'm not reading anything. So I sat through the whole movie just trying to figure out what was happening.
That's funny. I go on. That's pretty funny.
It's like, yeah. So,
Okay,
no.
this is not comic book. Like, do you watch foreign film?
I do watch foreign films, yeah.
Okay, do you dub it or do you?
Oh, no, I can't do the dub. So, but I can't like let's say you're doing your 4K lowdown and doing the movie reviews for the week. Like if we were doing a foreign film, we would have to give me 3 weeks time period in that time because I would need to pick a day that I'm having a good day to read it.
Okay.
And sometimes I could start it and then have to stop it. Well, you guys just did that one about the singer. Remember that
Oh,
guy who
Beautiful
was
Day.
singing
Yeah, or
Beautiful
A
Day?
Beautiful Life.
I watched that, and I watched it not foreign, and I didn't like it as much. And you were describing the movie. I'm like, oh, maybe I read it all wrong. I need to rewatch it because some of the aspect of the story, I'm like, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was wondering how that would work for you.
no, it doesn't really affect my life like now, except for sometimes I'm just overconscious about work or sending
Mhm.
out an email. But the only time I think like when my brother really realized it is I'm driving and I'm stopped and
This is the second one that's popped up there, man.
who's controlling this? Holy moly! But he likes what I'm saying. Um, and it's a one-way street and there's no cars going down the one-way street, there's no cars parked on the one-way street, and I'm
Oh
waiting,
shit.
and he's going, why are you not going? I go, I don't know which way that sign's pointing. And so he goes, what do you mean? I go, I'm dyslexic, I don't trust myself, I do not know because I could reverse them. And he goes, oh, you go that way, and I went, thank you, I could go. So
Wow.
like I've learned tricks throughout my life. So when I go to work, I used to all the time carry the ABCs in my pocket. So if at work I had to alphabetize anything, I just pull that out, figure out where things go in the alphabet because I don't know, I can't say my alphabet all the time.
Oh wow. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's not always easy, but I
No,
could,
man, I tip my hat to you, man. I
yeah,
really
but I could
do.
survive. So I could do it.
Yeah. Our bonus question. Actually, I got two bonus questions, but this is the one I have written down. What comic book property would you like to see developed for TV or movie?
It's already been a movie, but can I say it needs to be redone?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, man.
Freaking
You can name more
Rocketeer.
than one.
Rocketeer needs to come back as a movie nowadays, and they need to do it in the film noir of the Gilded Age. Like, think of Batman the Animated Series,
Hmm.
where it's gilded but updated, modernized. And that's what I want. If I could have that, or the Batman animated live action with the Gilded Age feel. I love the Gilded Age. That is one of my favorite ages of all time. If people don't know what the Gilded Age is, it's that time after Reconstruction, kind of to the 1930s, 1940s. So it's that, square box, if you think of Batman animated series
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I just love that time period. It's also the most important, if you want to know what half our laws and the reason why anything happens in the world and the monopolies and stuff, you got to read about the Gilded Age because almost 90% of our laws are passed in that time and set the precedent for that.
Yeah.
That's where workers' rights, unions started to rise, monopolies, stuff like that. Like all of a sudden our laws started to triple and double because we're like going, we need to figure this out. Can't just treat people like crap.
And here's Evan's other. He's not only a comic book guy, he's a movie guy, he's a history guy.
I am
And
a
you go
history
to,
guy.
and it's cool hearing what he has to say. And Harrison left the comment. Art Deco came
Yeah,
out of that time period too. It's an amazing era.
yeah, that's the guild. That Art Deco is the style of the Gilded Age. That's the better way, and it's called, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong about it. It's called gilding because the gold gilding and all the style of the gaudiness of it is going
Yeah.
on it, and so it's the rise of trains and technology and stuff like that. How do we live in this world? And it's the rise oil boom takes off. So all of a sudden you didn't have to be born into money. You were called new money. And so, and you could do that. And then the rich people didn't like that.
No, they did not.
But the
Okay.
Rocketeer, but the Rocketeer needs to be revisited. The Disney movie's great, and the comics are great. It, I just feel the Rocketeer needs more love, and
Yeah,
I
I would
want to see
agree
it.
with that. I really would. I would agree with that. We get a lot of Batman already, so I don't know if I am ready for that style of Batman because I ain't gonna lie, I like the new Batman. I liked what they did with.
I did
Uh,
not like the new Batman.
see, I did. I was um I liked what's it Pattinson? What's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. I dug the choice. I know people were shitting all over it. I
I
thought he did
I
a
I
good
he
job.
I liked him. It's the problem. If you want me to get me on a rant, is
Go
3 hour
ahead, man.
movies. 3 hour movies are
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, and they're only reserved when they are deserved. And coming out with a Batman start off, and then it doesn't even pay off. You don't get more Batman. You don't get
No.
more development. You still get like, to me, I didn't get more story. And then I also hated that everyone says this is finally our detective Batman. I go, he's a sucky. I know he's learning and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but he rarely wasn't. He would just like come in late and go, "Oh, I found this. Look underneath the carpet." Like I
He's
wanted
honing
more.
himself. He's trying. Um,
So
I liked it. It was a little different than what we got with Bale. Um, but yeah, I I think I would pick something that's not DC or Marvel. I think I would go something a little indie, maybe like something that's killing the children. I know that's supposed to be being developed, something that, like Nail Biter. Um, I enjoyed.
did you read the Old Guard?
No, I didn't, but I watched. Wait, I take that back. I watched the Old Guard on Netflix. Then I went back and read Volume One of the Old Guard, and I dug it.
I I did the same thing. So I really want a sequel to the Old Guard because
Yeah,
that's a Netflix film that doesn't deserve to be called a Netflix film. If you
I
know what I
agree.
mean.
Yeah, I
That was a
agree.
way better film. So
And then we got. I think David Fincher-esque cinematography tricked people into thinking it was a good film. I hated the Batman. I liked it, Harrison. I did. Um,
And sometimes you're wrong. That's
I
okay.
I said I get that a lot. Smart. Oh, this is man. It's been fun talking to you. Okay, I got one bonus question. This is a new thing I'm gonna start doing on Comic Talk. I want you to give me a recommendation.
Ah, okay. This one. No, this
You
is
can give me 1, 2, 3, or whatever you feel like giving me.
here. I'm going to give you one book. Oh, actually, two. You already said you're going to do it, but look,
Yeah,
just look at that. Where am I?
Maleficent.
No, this is the
That was not
Rocketeer.
Maleficent. That's Rocketeer. See,
Look
that's
at that
cool.
guy. Look at that
Yeah,
guy. And the females in it are just they're spunky and it's fun and it's
that's a great
crazy.
cover. That is a great cover.
Yeah. Don't you just want what? Look at that helmet. I'm
That's
sorry,
pretty
that is
cool.
like it's not over. I just love it. And then
Yeah,
it's
that is a great cover.
Maleficent. I would say chest it out. I mean, it just looks.
That. Their covers are pretty good.
They have these variants that are like top artists are going to do, and I'm not going to collect covers. I don't have the
Yeah,
budget. I don't have the time, but I'm loving what they're doing with these, and so
that's cool too. I like that. I like
I'm
the
loving
blue on the background.
the colors of it has
Hmm.
been fun. So I do collect old ones of Uncle Scrooge.
I had a few of those back in the day.
Do you
Yeah,
know Uncle Scrooge? These comics are what inspired Indiana Jones.
I did not know
So
that.
the big rolling ball and all the Temple of Doom stuff can be linked back to this comic more
Oh,
than
that's awesome.
anything else. Yeah. So, but I mean, Darkwing Duck. How can you? Did you ever watch the show?
No, that's the one show I didn't watch. I
How did
watched Rescue Rangers. Was it Tailspin? Um,
how did you miss Darkwing Duck?
I don't know. I watched DuckTales.
Now I think you did. You watch Gargoyles?
No,
Oh, really?
I think I discovered Girls and Gargoyles was coming out.
In this, but I think. I mean, look at that.
That's sweet. I like that.
I mean, I haven't read these, so I can't really speak to these yet. But I'm
See, I
there.
like that cover. I like that the way it's the shot angle of it.
I mean, to
That's
me,
cool
look at
too.
that. How do you not want to read
Hmm.
this? This one's kind of lame. Okay.
I
But
like
no,
that
come
one.
on. That's they're just.
That's cool.
I like if you look at the bottom. I like
Oh yeah, you can see the rest of them. Yeah.
so.
Is that a limited series or is it an ongoing?
I don't know. They seem to be ongoing. I keep getting more. So my comic that they do,
Full
where you
boxes?
could I just subscriptions. So they just take it, put it in my little folder, and whenever I can go, I'll go pick it up.
That's awesome.
Because I don't read digitally because
Yeah.
the digital was hard for me, believe it or
I
not,
get
with my
it.
dyslexia, and I stopped buying comics because I had to order through Amazon and they kept coming in trash.
Oh, I'd never buy. I bought one comic, a trade paperback of Walking Dead, and it came trash. I was like, nope, never again. I've always
Yeah,
bought my comics when I bought them online, either from Midtown Comics or a discount comic book service. They're the
yeah.
only two places I'd ever buy. My recommendation for you, you brought this up. We didn't talk about this.
Oh,
Um,
watch out!
that is Daredevil, Volume 7. It is by Chip Zdarsky and Mark Cicchetto. It's fantastic. It ran for 14 issues. It just finished up a couple months ago. It's fantastic. The art is good. Daredevil is down and out in this series, and he decides he wants to be more aggression, um, more on the offense than the defense. So he takes control of this evil organization. Um, Electric actually is Daredevil in this too. There's two of them, and it's just fantastic. This is probably my favorite book that Marvel put out in the
Do
last
you need to
years.
know anything before it? So that's where I get hard because some of these characters, they're just like, where do you even start?
Yeah,
And that's I'll tell you, comic books is not the most welcoming to a
no,
newbie.
not. It really isn't. You could read this without reading what came before it because it does a good job of catching you up. That's what makes Chip Zdarsky's run. It stands on its own. Um, he's a fantastic writer. I recommend Daredevil. It's 14 or 15 issues, and yeah, it was the best book Marvel was putting out in the last year.
So follow-up question if you have time.
Yeah, go ahead,
How
man.
someone brand new comes in and goes, I want to start reading comics.
Okay,
And I'm coming from Marvel. I'm liking the Marvel movies. I'm watching DC. How do I get into this world that has 500 Batmans and Superman's dead, not dead, bozos, all this other stuff? Which Captain America do you read?
I wouldn't give you a Captain America comic book because Captain America comic books haven't been good for a while. I would
Kick him
ask.
to the curb.
Yeah, I think I would for DC. This is a book that I love, and I hadn't read the book in ages. And so when they launched it with a new #1, I was in Nightwing. It stands on its own. You don't need a whole lot of backstory. The art is fantastic. Tom Taylor does a great job of telling the story.
Would we know that, like a newbie, know that used to be Robin?
You don't need to know he used to be Robin because you get the little tidbits of it as he tells the story because you get flashback. Yeah, and for Marvel, that's tough. For somebody new, I probably wouldn't recommend anything that they're putting out now because it's not very friendly. But if you were a fan of the Marvel movies per se, I would point you towards the Ultimate line. Basically, I would give you the Ultimates from the Marvel Comics Ultimates. It basically is the Avengers, like the Avengers movie, before the Avengers movies and Marvel kicked off there. You get the Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, which, as a fanboy, when this came out, it's seeing Nick Fury or Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury on screen blew my mind because he was whoever drew it drew him looking like Sam Jackson.
Before Sam Jackson was in the movie, so it's not.
Yeah, this came out maybe like 10 years before the Marvel movies kicked off.
The only Nick Fury I know is David Hasselhoff before Sam Jackson.
We don't mention David Hasselhoff. It's hard to recommend Marvel right now because Marvel is in a phase where their books ain't that great, and you have to have knowledge of what went on before, And this, for me, at this age right now, I wouldn't recommend Marvel. I hate to say it.
I get it, and I have a hard time because I used to think that Star Wars was some of the worst fans in the world with the gatekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, comic book fans are the worst, especially online.
There's a lot
now,
of
if I go, my people that at the comic book store, they have been so nice. Like I say, I don't know, and they go, "Do you want to know?" One time I said no, they went, "Makes perfect sense. Be too long to explain." But but they have been so great. I've been loved going there and supporting them, and but I go online just to want to ask the simple question. But I see someone else ask the simple question, and they're like, "You idiot! You're so dumb. How did you not know this?" It's like going, why treat people that way?
Yeah. It's a very toxic fandom. It's like Star Wars is. It's very what'd you call it? Gatekeeping? I've never heard that term.
I call it gatekeeping. Yeah. Gatekeeping meaning this is ours. Yeah. It's special to us. If you're coming in, you better be up to our standards. You see it often say an artist, or like you say, hey, I like you too. Do you have this important, that important, this important, that important? It's like, wow. So it could be like a lot of people say I like Disney, and I'm a big Disney fan. And sometimes I get a little too zealous. Really, let's talk. And I start asking questions, and they get offended because they don't know. I'm like, dude, I just was excited. You said you love Disney. I
Right.
thought,
But
yeah, I
there's a
want to
way of
talk to
going
him.
about it.
Yeah, there's a way.
Yeah, you
But
don't need
like,
to be hateful.
don't mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back into a comic book shop. Um, I will see comic books are expensive. Um, some of Marvel books are $6, $7 to $10 a book.
I think these are like five. The Disney one. Yeah, they're $3.99.
See that to me, that's an acceptable price. Especially it's an indie book, and you expect it to be not indie book. It's a small publisher.
It's
Um,
Dynamite small.
yeah, they're a small publisher, and they have to pay for their printing costs. And at $3.99, I'm surprised that's $3.99. Actually, I would thought that'd be a $4.99 book.
They're not big books. They're not. They're, I want to say, maybe 9 pages.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, they're not. They're not. They're super thin.
Oh, I didn't
They're,
know that. I thought it was like a 21 page.
maybe it, I don't know.
Because most
Comics,
comics are 20, 21 pages.
do they number them?
No.
See, how am I supposed to know? I'm not counting. But see, it's all like ads in the back.
Yeah,
So
I see. Yeah.
so this is the right there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the book. Don't look here. But I'll tell you, if you like different cover arts, holy freaking cow. So this is all the different ones you could buy for just this issue.
9 different variant covers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow.
And some you could only buy on, what's that one Whatnot? Is that what it's called? Where you could, like, a lot of people are
Yeah.
selling stuff. Yeah, some are only could be bought from the artist on Whatnot,
Oof. Yeah.
and they come
If you're a
signed.
completist, yeah, that's tough.
I can't go down that. I can't go down that road.
Yeah. That's why I
Can't go
refuse to buy pops or movies from Whatnot. Anything. I just can't do it. I got rid of my eBay. I used to be a big seller on eBay for comic books and stuff. Used to make a killing too, but I just can't because I would spend what I would sell. You know what I mean? It was just like a continuous cycle. But I was so happy when you texted me saying you got back into a comic book shop, showing me your comic. You ever sent me a text? I'm gonna bitch at you about it. You ever sent me a text about what you've gotten lately?
Well, I haven't had the money to go back and buy anything.
Comic
I
books
think
are expensive.
you got the last picture of what I
Yeah.
bought. So I haven't been back. So it's been tight here.
Yeah.
I live in a very expensive place that
I bet
doesn't.
California's
So,
expensive anyway.
and then I live in the Napa Valley. So
Oof. So I'm
so
gonna wrap this up. Do you want to promote anything? Tell us what you got coming if you have anything coming.
right now, Harris and I, if you go check out his channel, I've done a lot of things on his channel. I'm going to start, now that I got this system set up, I'm hoping to do more for my channel. I think Harris and I were working on science fiction versus sci-fi list, and going down, do a live stream on my channel where we discuss the difference between those and in a form of TV and movies. And so if you want to go check out some old stuff, I really want to revamp and try some stuff again, but it's called time in
Yeah.
having it. So I have 2 kids. I'm working a full-time job, sometimes more hours overtime, and then when I get home, my wife is working, and she works like 3 jobs, 2 jobs. She's always working.
Wow.
She's a rock star. So
Well, I put his links in the description. So if you guys want to hit his stuff up, give him a watch, give him a follow. Great. I mean, I'm not just saying it because he's sitting here. He busts my balls every week on our show by the numbers. He truly is a great guy. I am thankful for his friendship. I'm glad I've got to know him. through text, you know, not just outside of Instagram. He has my phone number. We chat, and I appreciate you, Evan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Next week on Faces for Radio, I stuttered there. I forgot what I was going to say. Faces for Radio over on David's 4K Lowdown next Wednesday at 8:30, 9 o'clock Central. I have to reschedule a little bit because I got something going on. We're going to do episode 37, I think. 37.
Yeah, geez. You guys watch so many movies.
We do. Yes, guys. Fuck to watching this. Oh, always fuck to watching this. That's kind of funny. If you're fucking us, you got a problem.
Woo!
No. Next week on David's channel, same time, same bat, everything. That's it, man.
No, not same day.
This was Wednesday, next Wednesday.
I thought you were changing something.
Just the time, maybe a half hour later. Yeah.
So it's not same everything. So I'm just
yeah, that is true.
Out.
Autocorrect got me. That's funny, man. Well, you guys take care. Thank you for spending the evening with Evan.
Hey, thank you.
Again, thank you, Evan. You guys have a great week, great weekend. Be safe. Take care. God bless.